Hello and welcome to episode 127 of Masters of the Forge, your narrative play Warhammer 40,000 podcast. Here with me I have Jason. Hi, Jason.
Hey, Adam. How you doing? How everyone else?
I'm doing pretty good. So this episode is a bunch of catch up for us. We're banking on our magnetic personalities as a strong, a strong draw for your listening pleasure. Or
that's going to be your personality.
We don't really have a major narrative topic today, but we're gonna go over some narrative games that we've played and our hobby progress, and we're gonna talk a little bit about upcoming releases, what we think of those in our realm, and what we're going to be doing this summer. I'm hoping that we'll probably try to get a couple of episodes in for July.
Yes.
So fear not, but we're just going to catch up here because we have a lot. We've been doing a lot, and if we waited.
Oh God!
Yeah, we would forget half of everything. So this will be a little short episode for us to talk about what we've been up to since the last time we chatted.
Yep.
So, Jason, how have you been?
Pretty good. It's summer, and there's a lot of podcasters out there for 40K who are also teachers.
Mm-hmm.
And if you notice, every one of us is a lot happier because. Yeah.
Yeah, no, so your miniature collections are a lot happier too.
Oh yeah. And I think my sleep deprivation is, going away, or at least just being strangled back into the corner. I don't know.
Oh, you're gonna have to tell me how that feels.
Oh yeah, well that's. It feels glorious, actually. But I'm not going to tell you to. Use my grandmother's old recipes to help children sleep because it involves whiskey and numbing teeth, or gums.
Well, you know what? Bourbon is probably a better call. I think it's sweeter.
Yeah, but that side of the family was from Tennessee, so it was whiskey.
Got it.
Yeah,
got it. Understood.
Yeah,
understood. I have to go a little farther east for that.
Yeah. Well, so my hobby progress has been pretty scary, actually. I've been doing a lot of stuff, but that's what happens whenever you basically set an auto reply for "I'll see you in August. Don't bother me, I'll bother you," which was the best email I've ever written. All right, so what I have been doing is on Monday nights I've been doing we have like a mini gaming and kind of painting day at Game Inc., which is my friendly local game store. And so I started taking my airbrush out there on both Monday nights and Wednesdays, and I started teaching airbrushing because I don't know why. I guess people ask, and I say, well, you do it like this, and then next thing I know, I'm dragging a compressor around.
Compressor will travel.
Pretty much. It's kind of funny. I've also been teaching, how to work with paintbrushes, which, I don't feel as comfortable with, I guess. It's not that I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel as comfortable teaching it. But, the airbrush, right. Because I've recently been, in classes, I feel a little more comfortable.
Well, yeah, and if you're a teacher
and
you know how to do the thing better than the other person, I mean, who better?
You just have to be one chapter ahead at all time. So, let me tell you,
the secret sauce.
That is, oh yeah, that is the secret sauce. Although whenever you get into independent studies, then it's just,
fake it till you make it.
It's weird. Yeah, definitely fake it till you make it. Yeah,
nice.
There's a lot of this is similar to that, those sorts of things. But the interesting thing about this game store is that it's attracted a group of D&D gamers, and so they had been using unpainted minis, and then they saw me and a few other people in there, And so all of a sudden now they're asking me to prime or do a highlight on them. Like every time I go in there, I'm always priming a D&D mini or 2 or 3 or 7 or 8. Yeah, so that's kind of cool, you know. That's it's really nice to see. And it seems to be one of those guilds that's been around for a long time because there are people in the guild that are my age and have been involved as a group since they were in junior high. So, yeah, that's pretty cool to see. So yeah, that's one thing I've been doing, and then a couple months back, I found a couple of Kroot hounds right before we did the Goodest Boy episode. I found these Kroot hounds at in Beaumont, metal, and so I bought them, and then I didn't do anything with them until last week. One of my friends had asked if I would sell them. I'm like, well, I was going to go and build them and do this, and I decided to go ahead and do it because I thought, if they're there, I need to either build them and paint them, or give them to this guy. So I built and painted them. So that was pretty cool. Let's see. I bought a Mutalith, the Vortex Beast, or whatever it's, this Thousand Suns unit. And I painted that. Well, I built and primed that one. It's not painted yet. It's been primed and highlighted. I did paint a lot of Thousand Suns. That Candy Apple Red finish. That is a cool finish, but it is time consuming. Not that it takes a long time to do. It's just, instead of 2 thin coats, it's like 3 or 4 very thin coats.
Right. It looks really good, though.
Yeah, it looks cool. I love it. I mean, I can't believe I painted it, actually. But just, it's one of those things I just go through, do a couple of passes, put it down, come back later. What else? Eldar terrain. So, the Death World terrain that's that kind of like plants and trees? I picked up a box of that, I guess, last summer and built it. And I did not enjoy building it because it's sharp and pointy. Not as sharp and pointy as anything from Chaos, but enough that it kind of drove me crazy. So anyways, I had that highlighted and whatnot. So today I painted a few things for a demonstration at the game store at Game Inc. So that was kind of cool. I went with this bright orange versus blue color. Because I wanted, I have pictures on Facebook and on Instagram now. So, yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's pretty cool. I decided to paint it because I'll talk about this in games played, but I was playing a game that needed trees. And I was looking at the trees that they had, and they were 3D printed, and they were kind of cool, but all I could think of was the trees I have for my Death World stuff look so much more scary, more terrifying, and they're not painted. And so I decided that I'd go ahead and paint those today, and that was pretty cool. Nice. Let's see, Raven Guard. Oh yeah, so I have a lot of Raven Guard laying around.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, I know.
You've been on a big kick with the Raven Guard lately. And also, some people have been just like gifting you the miniatures that they don't feel like touching anymore. And those end up with Raven Guard.
Yeah, they do. Well, we'll talk about that more in a little bit at the end of the hobby stuff. But I've been painting on some of the Raven Guard stuff that I hadn't finished yet, and some stuff that's built but just needs to be painted and primed. So the Raven Guard are still coming along. I'm going to continue updating them and adding more units, although I think I'm just going to add just jump pack units, stuff that works only for 30k. Like I may keep them as only 30k, not update them with with Primaris and whatnot, because I'm just not feeling the Primaris Raven Guard vibe. But I'll explain that a little bit later. So that's Raven Guard. Death Guard, yes, because I can't stop with the armies. I don't know if you knew this, or did you see I bought a Leviathan?
Yeah, I saw that pop up in there.
Yeah, I painted it. I built it, which that was a fun build. The mold was still good. The mold was still really good. It wasn't one of those where you get the mold and it's like, wow, that's that's offset
slipping and
yeah, where you have to spend just as much time working with green stuff as trimming stuff. But the mold's still good, pretty good, so I'm pretty happy with that. So I built and painted it, and then I built a Pravian and a Castellax, which are 30K models, and I went ahead and painted all of them. I haven't finished them yet because I laid down heavy chipping fluid because I wanted to see how much I could chip. So they're still in progress, but I've organized stuff. Which brings me to the next point in my notes: organization day. So my hobby room studio here was kind of a mess. Like, there are models everywhere, and I almost couldn't work because they just weren't organized. I didn't have shelving or any of that. So I went and picked up a bunch of a shelving unit and a bunch of plastic carry organization trays, and just put that all together. And so I managed to organize everything. I have a Raven Guard box, and a Death Guard box, and a Chaos box, and all sorts of stuff, so I can see it to where I can bring it down, work on only Eldar terrain, put it back, then put it back up in the box, and work on something later so it doesn't end up looking insane, on my desktop. So that brings to my last note, the Primaris. What am I going to do with them? I'm not feeling that they're Raven Guard for me. I just don't... I don't know, I just can't do it for whatever reason. It's just not interesting me. But now that there's this... I don't know if this is a rumor, I don't know if this has been confirmed, but there's supposed to be a Blood Ravens Index Astartes thing coming in White Dwarf, possibly. I think I'm going to go ahead and send all of my Primaris to the Blood Ravens.
I mean, they probably stole them anyways.
Oh, well, you're going to love this part. So there's something kind of built up as Thousand Suns, with weapons and whatnot. Yeah, they're getting painted as Blood Ravens. So, because
looting your own collection.
That will hack off a few people, and let's be honest, I'm here to bring smiles. If only to myself.
Fantastic. I mean, it'll bring a smile to my face. I know that for a fact. That's so cool. And yeah, I love Organization Day. It makes me feel so good to have everything in its place and place for everything. So good. I love it. I'm glad you got a chance to do that.
I'm normally not someone who... Well, no, I'm organized typically, but I like to work from a place of chaos because it does help me think at times. But
Nietzsche said, out of chaos comes order.
Well, yeah. We won't even go into the whole chaos, mathematical equations and whatnot. Leave those alone. But yeah, there's a certain point where even I said, I can't handle this anymore. It's driving me crazy. So, but now it's set up, and I'm pretty happy with it. I'm thinking I might actually do some more organizing of things like paints, because those aren't organized either. So, yeah. What about you, man?
Awesome.
I see all sorts of stuff on your hobby progress. And I've seen all the pictures you've been posting.
Yeah, I've been really busy. I don't understand how. I feel like maybe I might be unwell mentally. Okay. I'm not sure. I feel like I'm getting just as much done as I was before the baby. Actually, a little bit more. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm hanging out with people less. I don't know.
Yeah.
And it's a good way of detaching my mind from that whole process and reorganizing my adult thoughts,
Yeah.
So, yeah, I first of all, I read Dark Imperium Plague War by Guy Haley. I read that on audiobook on not Audacity. What am I thinking of?
Audible.
Yep, I got it on Audible with a credit. It was pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
it's getting, as with most modern 40K novels that are not Horus Heresy, it got mixed reviews from the community, but I really
Right.
liked it. There's some good exposition in there for the Primarch and whatnot, and the nature of the Emperor, that kind of thing. It was pretty good, and it's got more of Matthew in it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know what you're
His
talking about.
right hand priest guy. So I
Yeah.
thought that was really cool. It was all about the Ultramarines and the Nova Marines and and Astra Militarum and Sisters of Battle fighting against Nurgle. Well, fighting against Mortarion's forces along with some Nurgle demon allies. It's pretty good. It was good to see the dynamic between the heretic Astartes and the demons in that. It was pretty good. So give that a look. See, and as usual, Guy Haley does a really good job of describing the enemy forces and stuff. It's really good. It's really fun. As far as hobby goes, I built and painted the Famir that that Jim sold me. I'm really pleased with them. They're really cool. Again, I'm still not sure exactly what they're going to be used for. Probably multiple things, but they're really fun. They look really good. I'm really pleased with how they turned out. They definitely look like swamp, like they're swamp denizens, but still like a regal bearing. These cyclopean beings from the distant past. I think they're really fun. They exude very much mythos and old D&D emotions when you look at them. I really like those guys.
Yeah, they looked really cool. You did a really good job painting them.
I appreciate it. And I did them in like a couple days. Like, they were such a treat, but they're so old that there's not a huge amount of detail on them, and they're very organic. So they weren't a difficult project. So I really like that. So since last time, I've been working on my Diga's army for Vigilus, for the Vigilus missions that Mike and I have been playing. I really wanted to get a good 2,000 points of them on the battlefield.
Yeah.
And so I've just been cranking at those. So I must say I have basically given up, at least for now, on the concept of a rogue trader army.
Okay.
I just feel a little overwhelmed by the concept of that, of doing that project justice. I think that's for another time. I want to do nice conversions and stuff for it, and I just don't have. I'm never awake enough to it's really interesting. Like, I feel like I'm not in a emotional space for that. So I looted the Ogrin that I was going to use for that, and I sold off a bunch of the other kits that I was going to use for that.
Right.
Which was really cool. I was actually able to exchange some of the stuff at the store. And I also bought more stuff. I eBayed some models that I had laying around that I'm just never that were like hanging out for random projects. I'm like, what am I going to do with this? No, let's focus. Yeah. Let's focus. So I've got 9 Ogrin painted up in the yellow and blue scheme for my orc army. A bunch more infantry that were donated to me. Again, I wish I hadn't lost the names of the people that donated all these Diga models to me, because it's crazy. There's so many. Yeah. I have a Bombshell Miniatures mechanic lady who is, I mean, she's a little male gaze drawing, like whatever, but she's also pretty cool. Like, she's got a giant wrench that she has no problem hefting and like tools. She's just really cool. Sure, she's showing midriff, but at the same time, she's not like she's fighting much. Like, it's not so strange to think that she would be doing what she's doing. So I'm using her as a tech priest, as like a tech priest and engine seer. Yeah. And I also painted up one of the Digga like mechanic wizard guys that I'm his name. The tech priest's name is Kay, and the tech priest's name is Gluz. Anyways, he's really cool. He's got like a las pistol, and he's got like this cool electronic staff. I'm using him as like a Primaris psyker or a navigator. I don't know, something. Yeah, I'm using him as some kind of psyker. I have two Digga knobs. One of them is like this Power Fist sergeant guy who's really cool. Well, Power Fist company commander guy who's really sweet. He's got yellow pants. He rocks. He's got a Power Fist and he's metal. And then there's another guy who I cobbled together from a bunch of bits. He also has a Power Fist and a Digga pole or a knob pole, and he's got a plasma pistol. I took a Space Marine plasma pistol and shaved it down to fit over his arm plate. So he's got like, he'll punch you with his plasma pistol.
Oh, okay.
He's pretty great. I'm using him as Strachan.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, that'd be cool.
He's Hume Knob Grip. And the other guy's name is Manos, because fist. There's a special weapons team that I made. So the Diggas, the only special weapon they really come with is a grenade launcher. So everybody has, like, all of my special weapons are grenade launchers, just because that's what I have. Yeah. So there's a special weapons team with grenade launchers, and like. I made a weird character out of like I've got a bunch of I bought a Astra Militarum command squad, and I made this one guy with like a chainsword, and I used a head from a what do you call them, the irradiated Skitari guys. So it's got this really cool helmet, like a Baroque helmet. And I also got one of the dogs from the Farmer Maggot kit from the Hobbit miniature game. Yeah. And I painted that yellow, and I named him Buddy. So like that special weapons team is like this hunting team, awesome. Hunting squad, and they've got that dog there. So that's really cool. And I'm really liking the Ogren. I took the actual Ogren Bulgrin kit, and I also had a squad of 6 of the Ogre Kingdom bulls that John had given me at one point. So I was, with a little bit of green stuff and a few extra bits, it's actually very possible to make all 3 variants of the Bulgrin and Ogren.
Oh, okay.
As long as you have those Ogre Kingdoms models. So that's what I did. So that's how I have 9 of them. And I'm really pleased with those Ogren. Yeah, you just need a little green stuff, and the arms, the arms are cut along, like I said, along the muscle line, and they fit pretty good.
Yeah. I remember we talked about this a little while ago when you were building them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then really I painted up the medic from that, and a couple more dogs, a guy with his arm in a sling. That's really cool. That's also in that command squad kit. It was really neat. And then I had a Victoria Miniatures drummer. Ooh. And I'm using her as the Vox caster in that command squad. And there's just a bunch more infantry. I'm really pleased with those. I also painted up Sentinels. So like I bought 2 Sentinels over time, and I'm like, I want one more for the list. I want 3 Sentinels. I'm like, all right, let me go to the store, see if they had none there. They had none at both locations. I'm like, I don't want to buy one online. I want to buy one at the store. Like, oh, they have a Eldar Warwalker. All right. So I just bought an Eldar Warwalker, and I swapped the legs with one of the. So the top part of the Warwalker went on Sentinel legs, and the top part of that Sentinel went on the Warwalker legs. And for all of them, instead of using the like chainsword that comes with the Scout Sentinels, I just used Kill-A-Can arms instead.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, actually, I used like an arm, like the upper arm and lower arm of a Forge Fiend.
Okay.
And I glued like close combat weapons from Kill-A-Cans onto those. And I fully magnetized those so that all the weapon options, and I had plenty of extra weapon bits for the ranged weapons to do a full weapon swap out for all 3 Sentinels. Those came out really great. I'm really pleased with those. And that same yellow and blue scheme with the guys. And I just last night, or I would just say this morning, finished the 3 Chimera that I ordered from Flipside. I added some orc bits to orc them up a little bit, and gave them some interesting, tank commanders in there. One of them has a power sword on a prosthetic arm, and it's like this. Being a Chimera, or not a Chimera pilot, a Hellhound pilot, Hellhound, 3 Hellhounds. Being a Hellhound commander must be pretty dangerous work. You probably get burned all the time. It's not great.
Yeah.
Those are also fully magnetized. I've magnetized those guys too.
Oh, that's cool. Magnetizing is man, it's great, but I mean, it can be a challenge.
It can be a challenge, and it was kind of a pain, but at the same time, I'm like, well, these aren't cheap models. Like, I'm buying like $120 worth of tanks. I might as well, or 100. I don't remember. I mean, I still got the discount even though they're direct, but I definitely magnetized those and wanted to get the most out of them that I could. But yeah, those all look great. I'm really pleased with them. I ordered some foam for them today. Yeah, I'm gonna just keep up on the foam instead of trying to order $250 to $300 of it at any given time.
I'm so far behind on foam that I don't even know. I don't know what I would do. I don't know what to do.
I get it. So I'm also right now I'm on the last commissar for that. So the thing is, I'm bringing the lore for this group of Diggas forward, and the old commissar is most likely no longer with us. And I'm going to come up. I haven't fully fleshed out the narrative for them yet, so I'm going to hold off on talking about it, but I'm painting up the what's the new commissar? What's her name?
Severina Rain?
Yeah. So I'm painting her up in my Digga scheme, my Digga's and Orc scheme. And so she's going to be the new commissar in charge. And I'm also working on some objectives. I've got a 3D printed doghouse, outhouse, and TARDIS that I'm going to paint up for my objectives for this army. And that army is going to be done. Yeah. I don't think I'm going to have time to finish it up tonight, but maybe tomorrow night. I don't think we're playing Gloomhaven tomorrow night, so I'm going to probably work on that tomorrow night and get it done and get some nice pictures. I might even do a video. Depending on whether I get any work done on the lore of the army. But yeah, I definitely want to talk about the lore next time. We might do a segment on it. Well, I mean, instead of just front loading it into the hobby progress, I might go ahead and just talk about it. I think it's nice to talk about the narrative that we're coming up with for our armies, just as not that we want to talk about our D&D characters basically, but to give folks an idea of how to develop their own narratives and give people ideas for what they can do with their armies. So I'll make a note of that for next time. All right. So that's what I'm working on. I kind of wanna. I'm getting the itch to work on my Imperial Knights.
Yeah.
I have a stabby dude, big stabby dude, and 3 little stabby dudes.
Oh,
But
okay.
we'll see. We'll see. Let me get this project finished first,
Yeah.
and I'll kind of roll the dice and see what I want to work on next. That's pretty much what I have left of my models. I flushed my model toilet quite a bit, but I also still have the box of Chaos Space Marines that John gave me.
Yeah.
The like 2nd or 3rd edition box of metal Space Marine Chaos Space Marines. And I think those need to go towards the Emperor's Children.
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good call.
Yeah, because the Emperor's Children are all small Marines anyways.
Mm-hmm.
But I still have the Chaos Space Marines from the Shadow Spear box.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's a full squad of Space Marines in there. And the summoner guy. So
the Master of Possession.
Master of Possessions, yeah. Master of Possessions is also probably going to go to the Emperor's Children, but that squad, I think that squad is going to be a kill team of the fallen Black Dragons.
Oh, okay, yeah.
From Death of Antagonists.
Oh, yeah.
Those guys are really interesting to me. I've always kind of wanted to do something with them.
Right.
But I don't think I wanted to do a whole army because I already have the Emperor's Children.
Right.
And there's something interesting about Chaos Space Marines who fall because they are pure.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I remember that. I remember that thread in the Death and Antagonist book now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that would be cool. They're not exactly.
I think they're called like the Disciples of Purity or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is a really interesting name for Chaos Space Marines. So
yeah.
I think I might paint them gold, and because they were gold in that, and I think that'll be really cool as a kill team and for stories with the kill team. So we'll see. That might be the next thing, just as like a palate cleanser before the Imperial Knights.
Okay. Yeah, I've still got a few knights that are still in the box that I need to build. I just haven't done it yet because I don't know. I just haven't done it yet.
Yeah.
I've got some.
It's daunting.
They're built. Yeah. I think once I get past some of this terrain and once I get a bunch of the stuff that's been organized, knocked out, then I'll be all right. Let's go ahead and move over the knights. So yeah.
Let's do this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can. I mean, you can knock them out pretty quickly, depending on, what level of commitment you're willing to accept.
Right. I mean, I'm not hand painting a mural on each shoulder blade because I have
you aren't
self-control.
as broken.
I know my limitations. Even there's a chance where I stop and go, no, let's not do this. This might be a bad idea.
I'm pretty sure that my brain is operating almost entirely on caffeine at this point.
That's fine. That's to be expected.
I think my body, the moment my son turns 18, my body is going to collapse like a bowl full of wet soup, and I'm just going to die. Because my purpose will have been fulfilled.
Your biological imperative?
My biological imperative will have been fulfilled. Yes, like a salmon that has made it to the spawning grounds. I will give up the ghost in lieu of the next generation.
Yeah, but you still gotta, hang out the game store and complain about, how 7th edition
Oh,
was
the
so
game
much better
isn't.
than yeah.
Yeah, 8th edition was so much better than 10th edition
Yeah, or
or
some
whatever.
nonsense like that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. What games have you been playing, Jason?
Okay, so I did get a few games in, which that's been
Yay.
my New Year's resolution.
Hmm.
I'm going to be more sociable. I'm going to go out and get some more games in. So are we
Okay.
ready for them? Yeah, here we go. So I got one 40K game in, a 2,000 point game, where it's not that I got my butt kicked. It's that I conceded at the end of the first turn because, oh my god. I played against one of the Imperial soup lists, which I've heard complaints about, but, whatever. Um, I think that Imperial soup, like, narratively actually does work, in certain situations. So, my buddy Luis, I played him. He had a knight. I can't remember which one. It had an Avenger Gatling cannon. Two
Yum.
Medusa, two Basilisks, two Wyverns, a Vindicare Assassin, and basically guard to just bubble wrap all that. Um, I just got whooped. It was amazing. It is a tough list to go against. Like I don't know that I own the models where I could fight back against that one and do much. So yeah,
So
I'm
you
not
had a
sure.
great time.
Well, Luis he's cool to play against. He's a cool guy. I like talking to him and hanging out with him. But
And he has a great name.
yeah, but I mean, holy crap, that was just I was just stunned by the orders, multiple shooting from all this armor. The knight just erased my dreadnought. I mean, it was just one thing after the other. And I'm just like, this is horrible. I don't even know what to do. So,
Mm-hmm.
and I could tell that I don't play as much as I used to. It's 7th edition. I was
Yeah.
playing 1 to 3 times a week. I knew all the rules, and now in 8th edition, I haven't gotten that many games in, and whew. So, anyways, I'm gonna see if I can get a friendlier game together, so that I can kind of take that
Nah.
down.
Just get your
Yeah,
butt
well.
kicked. It's fine.
But I mean, in his defense, he is a tournament player, and he is testing out a tournament list,
Yeah.
and he
And
has
it's
bought
good
all
even
these
if you
things.
even if you play against a list or another person who isn't as competitive, at least
Yeah.
you're getting reps in with your and getting to know your army better, which is
Yeah.
always good.
Yeah, I think that was whenever I was, I was thinking about it. My Raven Guard really is a 30K list. I mean, it truly is.
Mm-hmm.
That's where it belongs.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't built it to be competitive at a 40K or really even anything beyond truly fluffy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why I'm thinking maybe the Blood Ravens are going to come back, and I'm going to give them Primaris reinforcements, because then I can have that separate in my mind.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat with my Emperor's Children. I
Yeah.
had a moment of horrible weakness where I was moments from putting them in simple green to
Yeah.
scrub them down and redo them with the new contrast paints, because
Oh, okay.
they're not. I feel like I can do better.
Right.
But they're also all small marines. They're all old
Right.
models. And I'm like, maybe we save this for a different project. If I really enjoy these Disciples of Purity, maybe I'll do a updated Chaos Space Marine Force of those guys instead.
Right.
But for now, let's just tap the brakes on this stupid idea and just move on to a new project instead of trying to make a bunch of progress, like negative progress on a project I already have finished,
Yeah. That's I hear you. That's why I think I'm just going to Raven Guard 30K, or someone who's wanted to play that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Blood Ravens are my 40K army, which gives
Sounds
me.
good.
I mean, I'm at the point now where I don't mind painting red again. So
Cool.
that's the issue. And my Thousand
Cool.
Suns will be Thousand Suns. I've got a narrative for them that I like. I just need to finish painting a lot of demons.
Right.
All right, so that was my 40K game. I have been getting a lot of Kill Team games in. The Elites book came out. First of all,
I've heard good things.
Yeah, okay. So one of the things I did not like about Kill Team was if you're playing Space Marines, it's Scouts, which are my least favorite model in the game, because of that head, and TAC Marines, and Primaris, which I just wasn't into it. It wasn't doing it for me. And then Elites came out, and I was able to run essentially a Raven Guard jump pack list. And I could actually get it to work in a fluffy manner, and I loved it. I was just like, this is great. This is what I want. So I'm really happy with that. And so I ran that list a couple of times, and then I picked up the Thousand Suns Kill Team box for Elites, which is like a Sorcerer and Terminator armor, and 4 Scarab Cult Terminators. And I've been playing it. I went and painted them up real quick. And I've had a great time with those. I mean, they're Thousand Suns, they're in Termi armor. They're not going anywhere.
Nice.
Everyone needs to really come to you, unless you use one of the stratagems. It's pretty cool. So, anyway, I've been having fun with those. I've actually am enjoying playing the Thousand Sun Termi list, which I didn't think I'd ever like playing Terminators, but I do like playing these. So, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I played against Eldar and Gene Stealer Cult the other day, which I was playing against a new guy, another Luis, not the first one, and he brought Gene Stealer Cult as his teaching game, and so basically he came at me, and my Terminator was just like, "That's fine, we'll just chop you down." So. Mm-hmm. But that was a good game. I did enjoy it. So I'm gonna.
It's nice to see Terminators being BAs.
Yeah. And the thing is that I don't know that they really are. I think.
Well,
I'm just
in the
lucky.
lore. Oh,
yeah.
You mean in the game? Yeah, but in the lore, you see, in that last book I read, the Guy Haley book, the chapter master of the Nova Marines is in Terminator armor, and he moves like a dream. And frankly, so does Typhus, but still, it's really cool to see the description of how those guys fight in their bulky armor.
Yeah. Termies are great in the lore, but man, on the tabletop, they can be, they can be a nightmare.
They're hit or miss.
Yeah. I did pick up the Death Guard Elite box, which is Terminators also, Deathstroke Terminators, but I haven't built it yet because...
Squirrel!
Yeah, pretty much. But hey, I know where they are. It's still in the box. Well, because... okay, so each of these Kill Team boxes, the Elite boxes, all take place on Vigilus. Like, you open it up, they've got a booklet on, here's the history, here's the lore. I got 1,000 Suns one. I'm
cool.
like, hey, these guys are on Vigilus. Finally, I have a reason to be there. And there's a mention of the Death Guard, and so I thought, you know what, I'll grab them too, so then I have more reasons to say I'm on Vigilus, because the Raven Guard don't show up, and the Blood Ravens only show up to pick the bodies clean, so, yeah. Alright, so those are my, Imperials, 40k, and then Kill Teams. So here's something else I got involved with, kind of. Rangers of Shadowdeep, which is similar to Frostgrave. It's the same author whose name I don't remember. Anyways, I'm using my Inquisitor as my ranger, and because I'm playing in a co-op game with 3 other people, we can take 1 companion. So I'm taking her faithful Kroot Hound as her Warhound companion. It's funny because I'm the only one with the 40k miniatures. Everyone else is using D&D miniatures, which you look at the scale automatically and say, one of these things is not like the other. or in this case, two of these things are not like the others. It's pretty funny. Um, so, anyways, I had a lot of fun with that. We played a 4-scenario campaign. There's lots more scenarios in there. We just didn't finish them all. Last
Rangers
Monday.
of Shadow Deep is a solo and cooperative tabletop miniatures game in which players create their ranger, gather companions, and play through a series of missions in their fight to hold back the darkness. If their rangers survive, they will grow in power and ability and be sent on more difficult, dangerous, and intricate assignments.
Yep.
So that's really interesting. I wonder, did you use a D20?
Yeah, D20 mostly. It's actually a really easy mechanic. I think after we were still in the first scenario, like we might have gotten to our first encounter, and I'd already picked it up. Just after rolling the dice a couple of times to get down the fighting, the mechanics are super easy. I mean, if you can do 40k, this is a lot easier than that. So, anyways, I'm going to use this whole campaign as narrative lore background because there's my character, there's another character that's similar, built along similar lines, and we have a tank. And I don't know what I can't remember what the fourth ranger's built as, but I could go through and say this is my war band. So that's pretty cool. I really like that.
Yeah, I really like Frostgrave, so
yeah,
I'd be willing to give that a try.
It is easy to port them back and forth. I mean, it's not exactly. My Inquisitor has a plasma pistol, and I counted it as a bow. But then to be like a supercharge, I took a deadly shot as a weapon, or as a spell, and so that'd be kind of a signifier of a plasma shot. So
nice.
It can be. I mean, it's just like any game system. You could go through and just kind of reskin it, and just kind of change the setting a little bit, and it would work just as well.
Nice.
I did talk to Da, who's he's the owner of the game store, and he, I think, either used to play the old Inquisitor game or he knew about it, and so we might actually try and resurrect that. And so
a lot of people play that. I think.
Yeah.
What's his name? I think there's a small group of people at Warhammer World who play that game.
Oh yeah.
Or a very expanded version of it, and they call it Inquisitor 28, where it's 28 millimeter Inquisitor instead, and they super customize their models, and I think John Blanche is part of that group.
Yeah, he is.
It's like an invitation only, like champagne room of Warhammer World or something.
I would believe that. It's the Iron Sleep grouper. Oh yeah, I follow one of the groups that does that, and it's just amazing.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Those people are gross.
That's the way I like to build and whatnot. I think that's why I'm not completely on board with the Primaris yet, because you can't take 4 and 5 boxes and smash them together. It's a box and maybe some extra bits. Where I'm more the, how many boxes do I have? Okay, I'm going to use something from every one of them. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. So
yeah, yep. That's basically how the Diggas project is. It's like, I'm not going to worry about whether or not I have a third Sentinel because this Warwalker will do just as well.
Yeah. Well, actually, that's incredible. That's a great conversion.
Thanks.
For me, I took a Ambot and turned it into a Castellax with just a few minor modifications. But I mean, that's some of the things that I'm interested in. I mean, I have my Inquisitorial Warband keeps growing because I don't remember the Delaque box from Necromunda. These guys are all kind of assassins type long range shots. So I know this is weird, but I bought the box so I could build one dude to be her kind of.
That's what I like to hear.
Yeah, that means I've got all those bits, and it was a fun build too, which was kind of entertaining.
If you start playing that Inquisitor 28 stuff, we need to do a show about it, because I'd be very interested to try it out myself, and I'm sure I can find some friend
John?
at the game store who will play that with me. Because I too have a bunch of kind of, metal Inquisitor models
Yeah.
and some old Empire guys with weird rotary pistol things and stuff. I got a bunch of weird stuff like that I could use for a really tricked out inquisitorial warband. So I'd be willing to give that a try.
Yeah. Well, that seems to be what they're looking for, is how tricked out can you get? How willing are you to bring in models that, are not stock? And,
those guys seem to be having quite a fun time with the new Chaos character, the robot tech priest guy.
Oh,
Dark
yeah.
Tech priest guy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking. Yeah. I can't remember the name of it, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's what we're gonna try. I'm doing now is the Rangers of Shadow Deep, but I'm trying to do some more kind of Inquisitor stuff because
nice.
Yeah, it gives me that chance to kit bash something and have kind of a motley crew of wow, I actually used the word motley crew. Jesus, that's terrifying.
Yeah, but you spelled it right when you said it.
That's true. Good call. Good catch on that. Having that list, having that group of character models where each one of them is like, oh, this is, they're unique models, or at least they're not seen often. They're not one faction, which is something I'm really wanting to carry around. Plus, if you have 4 or 5 of those guys, then when you go off to play somewhere else, it's just a small box of miniatures, not, hi, here's my KR case and my Pack Air, and here's my 2, GW cases. Yes, I'd like to go ahead and check them all. Thank you.
Yeah, but if we're gonna play Apocalypse in August, you need to bring your whole army.
No, I'm gonna go help the orc player. That's my job.
All right. So I've been doing a bunch of AOS prep, which you probably don't want to hear about. It's fun. I'm having a fun time playing the game. I'm having fun playing with my fully painted dwarf space boatsman. Super fun.
Right.
I have been engaging in... Mike hasn't been in the store much. So I have been engaging myself in the new independent characters campaign, Somnium Stars.
Oh, yeah.
Carl has gone above and beyond the Call of Duty setting up this campaign. He's got a bunch of really neat Google Docs set up, Google Sheets set up to automatically update a bunch of like charts and spreadsheets and stuff, and he has a like a web form that you can enter your game results in. It's crazy. Like you can attack specific worlds, and it your game has an effect on the result, like who owns that world and everything. It's really cool.
That is cool. That is pretty nice.
So the narrative I have for that is that Big Mech Sizzlegrub has so the Cicatrix Maledictum has bisected Wa Drillteeth.
Okay.
Yeah, so like some of the army is stuck on one side of the Cicatrix Maledictum, fighting against the Ultramarines and trying to fight over Ultramar, taking advantage of the Plague War and kind of attacking from the back door, right? And the other half is in the Imperium Noctis, fighting in these Somnium Stars, like sector. So and Sizzlegrub has this sixth sense about looting. So he's a Death Skull true and true, right? But he's like a bloodhound for loot, right? Like he can sniff out a good haul even from light years away.
Right.
So he showed up at a planet called Shadow Hive, where these data stacks are hidden. Well, there's a lot of like treasures hidden beneath the surface of this world that's been super corrupted by Nurgle.
Yeah.
And he wasn't the only one to show up. Also, there was a Slaneshi Alpha Legion group also looking at the same data stacks, trying to plumb them for information on whatever's hidden beneath the surface of the planet. This army was really cool that I played against. He had a really cool Lord Discordant model. That's the name of it. He totally Slaneshified a Lord Discordant, and it looks really cool. He had Imperial Knight and a bunch of bikes and some Gribblies and some Raptors. It was a really cool army. We played Vital Intelligence. That's the one where you roll a dice. Is there six objectives, and you score 1 point for every objective you hold at the end of your turn. But one of the objectives is is worth 2 points.
Okay.
Unless you roll a 6, in which all of them are worth 2 points.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. And Big Mech Sizzlegrub always has that heavy machinery, so there were 2 Gorkanauts in the list. And a bunch of boys in trucks and whatnot. And some Dovkoptas.
I'm going to ask this, and I don't know if you want to talk about it or not. How did did you say you had Morkanauts or Gorkanauts?
Gorkanauts.
How did they do?
Pretty good. I kind of knew his list because people have played it before, so the bikes are really the scary thing in that one because they're Slanesh and they can shoot twice and yada yada yada. And they were Alpha Legion, so they're -1 to hit, but my orcs don't care because we just hit on 6s anyways. So it's kind of whatever.
Yeah.
So so I actually won that one. Big Mech Sizzlegrub was able to steal away with a lot of data. Yeah. And I was running the Dread Mob Specialist Detachment from Vigilus Defiant.
Right.
So that has a 2-point stratagem that lets you shoot twice with one of the Gorkanauts, which is pretty cool.
Cool. Okay.
Also, the Relic Shock Attack Gun. Like, he's a super BA, like, Warlord guy, so I give him I've been giving him the Relic Shock Attack Gun, which instead of 1d6 shots, it's got 2d6 shots. It's pretty gross.
Okay. I'm always curious how the Orc Codex plays. You know how it has evolved over time.
Well, in matched play circles, it's doing very well.
Okay.
It's doing very well. I don't think any of the uber top players are playing orcs, but all the top orc players are doing very well with it.
Okay.
I think Nanavati ran orcs, but he didn't win the BAO.
Yeah.
I'm not really totally sure. I mean, I watched those videos, but I have very poor memory retention at this point. But orcs are doing pretty good from a matched play perspective.
Okay.
So I won that game, and Shadow Hive has a win for the orcs. It's a really big place. Oh, and that wasn't the world that was tainted by Nurgle. That's my bad. But it's definitely a big world held by chaos.
Right.
Anyways, the next place I fought was Nostromo. That's the one that's taken by Nurgle. It's this like little world, but it had also been attacked by Necrons at one point, so that's why I chose that world. I'm not gonna fight over a world that doesn't have my opponent's army there.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah, you're allowed to, but I'm not going to.
Well, it's one of the things
say, oh, my game is going to go towards this, even though my opponent isn't there. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I wanted to get the that thousand. Well, I was so happy about that Thousand Suns kill team is that it takes place on Vigilus, but the background was that they weren't even supposed to be there. They just got thrown into it by a demon. So, Which that's actually a pretty good reason for Thousand Suns. It's just like, well, the warp dropped them there, so. Oops.
So Sizzle Grub sniffed out something that has been awakened on Nostromo.
Yeah.
And so he kind of blasted through there, and the Death Guard forces saw where he was headed. He was making a beeline for where the Necrons were attacking, where they had made their beachhead. So actually the Death Guard supplied cover fire for the orcs as they made planetfall, because they wanted to rid themselves of the Necron menace. So they made Sizzlegrub landed and started blasting the Necrons, just destroying the troops first and then grinding into the vehicles. It was a back and forth fight for dominance over this region of where the kind of the Necrons had. I put up a couple of Necron looking built like ruins to make it look like they were still building them. Like buildings, Necron buildings in the middle of an Imperial, a former ruined Imperial. Like the Necrons had come in and just wiped all the life from this section that that Nurgle had taken over. Right, like the whole world is just ruined by Nurgle, but full of Nurgly life. Well, the Necrons had scoured this section of their beachhead. There was nothing left alive, just kind of semi-organic vapors still in the air, and the orcs came in and wrecked the place. It was a really back and forth game with my buddy, and it ended up he wanted to try a ITC mission because we have a tournament coming up in July.
Oh yeah.
I have never seen this before, but I've seen it before, but I've never had a tie in an ITC mission. You have to really mess something up.
Yeah.
And I had we ended it 28-28.
Wow. Yeah, that's Reese that's involved in ITC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, did you tell him that you actually managed to pull off a tie?
No, other people have had ties before, and I just have never had a tie. It's crazy. Yeah. It's really hard to tie in one of those missions, but that's what happened. But it shows that you can, even if you're playing match play games, you can get a narrative out of it.
Oh yeah.
And you can, it wasn't a full, I wasn't intentionally doing dumb stuff in that because he wanted to test out his army. But in a narrative game, I will constantly do dumb stuff because narrative, but in that but you can still formulate a narrative over what happens, right?
Yeah.
So that was a lot of fun. I might be bringing my Necrons the next time we go. Actually, I want to try out the 160 Necron warrior list just for funsies at some point, so I think I might do that. I've come up with another little narrative for them, but I'll talk about that next time because I'll have it fully fleshed out. But yeah. I found a really neat concept for that army for the Somnium Stars campaign.
Okay.
And those are my games. I have an AOS tournament this weekend. It should be fun. Jason, let's move on to Beyond the Fringe.
I like what you wrote in my notes. So my Beyond the Fringe is vacation. Yeah. So I'm going on vacation in 2 days. Well, tonight's Wednesday. I'm leaving on early Friday morning, and I'm just going to drive around Texas. There's a couple of places I'd like to go see that I've never seen, and I've got time to do it, so I'm doing it. Trying to go to Marfa, which is out in West Texas. It's kind of an interesting little area. I've never been there, but I've heard about it. And then I'm going to drive up to Cadillac Ranch up by Amarillo. That's where they've got a bunch of Cadillacs buried in the ground just because It's a nice little art exhibit that I've never seen. So I'm looking forward to it. Yeah. I'm really looking forward to it. So that's my Beyond the Fringe. What about
on you, dude? Yeah, I'm glad you're getting some R&R. You deserve it.
Well, I turned on my auto reply, out of office thing the other day, and set it to, I just said I'll be back in August. And so I set the thing, and like an hour later, I got my first email, hey, what's going on with this? And I just ignored it. And then I got a couple emails yesterday, and I ignored them too. And I got a few today, and I'm like, nope, I'm not here. So let's see what happens.
Fantastic. I am deep in baby stuff. Like just,
yes, you are.
Just all the baby stuff all the time.
Yeah.
Constant, ceaseless baby stuff. Yeah. But I'm having a lovely time. The kid's awesome. We're actually very lucky. The kid is...
He slept from 8:30 till 5:30 last night from what Wendy wrote.
Yes, he did.
That is gold.
Yeah, it really is. Like, he's doing really good, and he's developing quickly despite his early arrival. So we're really pleased about that.
Yeah.
He's probably gonna be crawling before we know it, and that's terrifying because I have so much danger in this house.
Yeah.
There's so much danger. Like this house is a death trap. But my Beyond the Fringe this month is denial. Denial is helping me through. I put him to bed and I'm like, I'm gonna paint now. I'm always gonna be able to do this. This is something that I'm going to do, and nothing has changed. My life will go on as it always has.
Yeah.
And I don't know how long that level of denial is going to last, but hey, at least we're having fun.
Well, this is where we put our stock joke. Denial is not just a river in Egypt.
Right, exactly. And I don't know. I think in the past 2 Beyond the Fringes, I've talked about, Wendy is the greatest.
Oh yeah.
So my second Beyond the Fringe is going to be Wendy is the greatest again.
Yay!
Because she is.
All right.
Because she has turned herself into a milk factory. So, like, it's crazy. It's crazy, the human body. It's amazing, and she's great.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. Congratulations to both of y'all.
Thank you. Yeah. So, are we going to see you this summer?
Yes, I have to figure out when I'm going up there, and when I go up there, what am I going to do? So, yeah, I don't know when. I don't think it'll be in July, but I think August is when I'm going to go.
I think July is going to be awful anyways. I'm Dave Matthews' concert is the same weekend as the July tournament.
Oh, okay.
And Wendy's going to go to that. She's playing with the idea of bringing the baby to it, actually. And she's actually kind of keen on that. But at the same time, I'm leaving it open because if she wants to go to Dave Matthews' concert and wants to leave the baby here, I will be here with the baby because she does everything for me. And I've been able to go out to Warhammer every week for the past couple of months, and it's like, of course, yes, I will miss this tournament because
perfect sense.
You deserve to go out and enjoy yourself for once.
Go have fun. Go
exactly.
Loud rock music. Yeah.
But the August tournament would be a good opportunity for us to get together. Yeah. Unless, you just don't care about that and you want to get together for a different reason, that's also fine. But August is better because I have Geekend in July.
Yeah.
as well.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
and
Geekend
that's
yeah.
Geekend is gonna be that. So August would be great if you wanted to come out for the tournament. Great if you want to come out and do Apocalypse, that would be fine as well. Or if you just want to come out and just hang out, that also would be fine.
Well, we'll talk more about this, I guess, offline. But I will.
Yeah.
It's going to be August because July is one. It's busy for you, and two,
Mm-hmm.
I need to book probably something the next couple of weeks and figure it out. And I have to figure
Mm-hmm.
out what I'm taking if I go for a tournament. You know, do I want to go play in a tournament?
Well, exactly.
You
I mean,
know.
Mike will be here to do
Yeah.
the tournament, but he, you know, there's nothing saying you guys really have, like, you could do what you usually do and it's like play one game and then play each other.
Oh no! It's play one game and then I go and steal his librarians.
Exactly.
But that's also a
Exactly.
game too. It's like, oh, you have a librarian? Cool. I've always wanted Terminator librarian. Okay, cool.
Yeah, so that should
So,
be fun. I think they are also planning a kill team tournament.
Oh, really?
So if that's something you want to do instead,
Yeah.
keep an eye on the Flipside calendar because we're thinking about that. There's like kind of a group of people who don't hang out with us who play Kill Team at the store.
Yeah.
I don't know what's up with that. I don't think they like us very much. But they like
Well,
Kill Team. So
Kill Team it scratches that skirmish level itch. I mean, I like Kill Team,
yeah.
but I also like, APOC because I'm weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
So
and
I
like
think I
the-
might get those chaos Space Marine Kill Team together for that. I need to look at it. I might try to gather some elites together. I might buy the elite starter or the elites rules and see if I want to add one or two elites models to the roster, because I think in tournaments you do a 20-man roster and you can pick and choose from it from game to game. So
I'm gonna be
maybe I'll pick up some of the
super-
new Terminators. Those new Terminators look awesome.
I want to be super honest. I did not like Kill Team that much. I mean, I liked it. It was okay. If it scratched that itch. But once Elites was implemented, I really liked that because
Yeah.
it's odd because you think, oh, well, it's more powerful units. Yeah, but they play fluffier, Like, I can play my Dark Fury models. I could take a Kill Team of 5, and that's...
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what I might do is I might take those... maybe I'll buy a box of the Terminators. I'll take those Chaos Space Marines, and I'll also take the Traitor Guard from the Blackstone Fortress, and I'll paint those guys up. Just in generic paint schemes. I don't need them to match the Chaos Space Marines. That's the thing. Like, I'll just paint those just normally, and because they don't need to. Their Traitor Guard. They can just be generic and just have that as a kill team. And I think that'll work really nicely.
I think that would too. Da is currently painting his cultist from Dark Vengeance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, from Dark Vengeance, so he can use them in Kill Team.
Yeah, and I think at an antagonist, there was a very specific guard regiment there, and I can kind of work that in. Or we'll see. I'm gonna skim that book again, look at our old show notes, and maybe try to get a really nice narrative out of that force. I rarely do actual like forces based on specific lore points. Instead, I try to come up with my own story, and in this case, it'll be interesting to take something in a book and translate it to the tabletop, but then expand the lore forward.
Yeah.
So I think that'll be fun. I'm really excited about Apocalypse. It looks like it's a totally different game.
Yeah.
From 40K, and I think that was definitely the way to go.
Well, we were talking about it today that I haven't been keeping an eye on the rumor sites or on the GW site about it. We were talking about how there's now a new dice mechanic, and what is, instead of being on a 6-sided die, now it's like what, a 10 or a 12.
So what it is when you take damage.
Yeah.
So you do all your attacks before you take damage. So you move and act with one detachment at a time, and then and when you fight with them, you assign damage markers.
Right.
So it's like small blast markers and large blast markers.
Right.
And 2 small blast markers convert to 1 large blast marker.
Oh, okay.
Small blast markers are saved on a D10. Okay. Or sorry, a D12. A D12? Yeah. Small blast markers are saved on a D12. Large blast markers are saved on a D6.
Ooh.
So if your save is like Robute Gwilliman, his save is a 3+.
Right.
So he saves, so that a 3+ is easy on a D12, but it's not easy on a D6.
Right.
So there's that, and I think he only has like 2 wounds.
Oh, wow, that really is APOC.
Yeah, so if say you have a unit attacking Gilliman and he has like 3 large blast markers on him, he 2-3 ups and he's dead. Yeah. But I know that there's each detachment you take is, and it's all power level because you're not going to do points with this. It's all the units are very generic. It looks very much like 28 millimeter epic. Which is why I don't think they'll ever do Epic again, because that's what this is. And you could actually take your Epic models. And I think you could play this game with Epic models if you really wanted to.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. I mean, all it is a representation.
Yeah. And that's how it's going to be fast. Now, the one thing that'll still be slow is unpacking your army. I recommend maybe just... how we just did my entire collection and it took hours to take it out. I would suggest playing this with multiple people and everybody only brings certain power level or a certain number of detachments, and don't try to do what we did. But yeah, it was a lot of, it looks like a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Movement trays, huzzah. They're all like a half-inch. Yeah, all the units have to be a half-inch. Models have to have half-inch coherency. Like, you really have to shove models forward.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think we'll cover that at a later date. I don't think we're getting a copy of it from Games Workshop, so we'll have to buy it separately, and consume it after the release, like a normal human being. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I think if you really want to play a big game of 40k, like just 5,000 points, you could use the APOC rules to get a quick game in at that size if you wanted to do a big narrative, but don't have 5 hours to play a big 5,000 point game. I think that's a really interesting thought. Like, we're not just talking 100,000 point games, 60,000 point games. Maybe just a I hate to say this, but a small 5,000 point game between 2 players is something you could do in an evening.
Yeah, that's.
I would definitely like
to say that. Yeah.
When you come in August or whenever, let's make a point to do a few campaign games in the Somnium Stars and really get a fun narrative in between your Blood Ravens or I would say probably your Blood Ravens and either my orcs probably my orcs. I think that's the moral imperative that we need.
Yeah, still haven't. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I don't think we ever did finish. There was one campaign I don't think we finished before I left.
I think it resolved, but I think it resolved between John and... It resolved with John, between myself and then a team game, a team up between John and Phil. That's how that resolved itself.
Right.
Actually, I think you were there. You were there. You dropped pie planes on me with thunderfire cannons.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. That was mean.
Yeah, it was brutal. Anyways, that was that was pretty much an apocalypse game.
What was the whirlwind? There was a whirlwind thing where I could drop 3 or 1 giant pie plate every turn because I had 3 of them. It was horrible.
Well, I made up that rule to save time.
Yeah.
So speaking of Blood Ravens, next episode, even if this index Blood Ravens doesn't have any rules in it, we're going to do the next episode on the Blood Ravens.
Yay!
We'll also talk about the narrative of my Digga army.
Yeah.
As like a separate little thing, and we'll also probably have more stories from the Somnium Stars campaign. I hope that we can get together in a couple of weeks. Everybody's already going to see the White Dwarf with the Blood Raven stuff in it. But we'll digest it and talk about it and make predictions about, we'll have our own little headcanon and stuff, and you can talk about how you want to advance your army, because I can tell before you were kind of not too excited about your Blood Ravens for a long time, and I think now it seems like you're back in the swing of things, especially armed with some of the new hobby skills that you've developed.
I think that my painting, I wasn't liking how some of my painting was going. And right now, I've got a bunch of stuff that I look at and go, that could be better. But I also look at, I don't know if you remember, what was it? I'm trying to remember what his name was. It was one of my captains that I built for our campaign because he has a storm shield and a club, essentially. Because I had played this game where I had a captain with a storm shield and a sword, and you just mobbed him, and he killed something every turn, but couldn't get away. And so you said you should build one with like a power maul or something, and so I did, and paint him the next week. And I'm looking at him right now, thinking I need to get this guy back out on the field and go smack some orcs around.
Yeah, and we should definitely say that is some kind of relic maul that is really good at killing orcs that you looted from like the Crimson Fists or something, because the Crimson Fists love fighting orcs.
It's a Dark Angels bit, I think. So.
Oh well, that's just perfect.
Yeah, I think it was out of. I think it was out of one of their kits. I think it was out of like their bite kit, their Raven Wing kit. So, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
well, that sounds awesome. That's going to be a fun time. I think that'll be a good episode. Let's commit to trying to do that in a fortnight. That'll be the week of 4th of July. I don't know if you'll be available, but
I will be back.
All right, cool. All right, well, until then,
play the game the way you want
to. Should I go to sleep or should I finish painting that commissar?
It's such a good feeling to play games your way. It's such a happy feeling 40K'ing away. And when you throw dice with story in mind, it's such a wonderful way to unwind. It's a good feeling, a very good feeling, the feeling you know that we'll be back when the fortnight's new, and we'll have new ideas for you, and you'll have things you'll want to talk about. We will too.